And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Boom, bada bing, bada boom, papa. Here we go. America Plus is going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Trump literally just confirmed clones. What's up, everyone? It's America Plus. I'm your host, Coleman Coleman. It's another week, another episode of What's Going On, everybody? It's Sunday, 5:03 in the p.m. Happy to be here. Happy to see you, y'all. Oh, my goodness gracious, folks. We have an insane... This week... Okay, so last week, I talked about how it was a new era, okay? And I was totally right about that. Somehow I just caught this new era wave, y'all, because it's actually a new era. Not only in my life, but in the conversation, the zeitgeist of the internet, dude. This is going crazy. So I just need to celebrate one thing, and then I'm going to get into this, into the main story of clones, okay? Because something crazy happened to the clones. It was confirmed, okay, by a certain someone. The positive thing about this week is I got a new job. Hell yeah, dude. I got a new job. I literally got a new job. I've been applying for a line. I'm not going to focus too much on this right now because I'm not working the new job yet. It begins in the next few weeks. I just put in my 2 weeks notice at Roost Chris. And so, yeah, but what I want to say about it is I'm getting more money. I'm getting more hours. It's a full-time position, and I'm getting paid like $7 more than I am getting paid right now at Roost Chris, which is pretty incredible. And so I'll actually be able to live a life, which is awesome. I won't be able to just be able to scrap on by like I have been doing for the last couple of years. And, you know, I just feel blessed. You know, I was at Roost Chris for 2 years, and, you know, now there's actually light at the end of the tunnel, and I actually know, I know what my future is. I know how I can like plan financially to some degree, you know? So I'm feeling really good about that. I just, applied on Indeed. You know, I'll just say what it is. I'm a pool technician. Okay, pool technician. I'm cleaning pools for full time, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, it's really cool, really exciting. I'm really happy about it, and yeah, man, just good vibes for me on that side. I think that's like a new. It's so cool because like every job is like a new era in one's life, you know. And I've had a few different jobs, a lot of different jobs. And I just thought that was like, it's just cool. Like last week, I say it's a totally new era. And then like just a few days pass by, and all of a sudden I actually have a new job that I've been like praying about and manifesting and doing what I want to do now, at least like money wise and hour wise, you know. And like now now I have a consistent job, so I can focus on the creative stuff more freely without stress. That's what I've been aiming towards, to be creative without stress, because it's very hard to be creative. It's hard to do a podcast and write stories or plan out a movie when you're also like worrying about rent, you know? So now I don't need to be in that type of a mindset anymore. And I just feel really good. So I feel really happy about that. So shout out to me, dude. Shout out to the new job. And I'm still getting over this cold. I've had a cough for a minute, but whatever. Regardless. The main topic for today, folks, this is crazy, okay? So this is crazy. So last night I get home from work and I'm tired. I'm just chilling, you know. I'm just doing my thing. I'm scrolling on Twitter. And the next thing I know is something crazy goes down, dude. Some crazy stuff is happening online. And what happened was Trump posted something on his social media. Do you know what this means? Okay. So Trump, he didn't post this, he didn't write this, he didn't say this, but he reposted it on his Truth Social page. Um, what it was this random post from this account that I don't know. It looks like it's like Lahi. I don't even know what it is. It doesn't matter who posted it. What matters is what was posted. And what was posted was this person says, there is no Joe Biden. Executed in 2020. Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see. What? What? And not only was this posted, but Trump reposted this. Trump literally reposted this information. And you know what this points to? You know what this means, people? This means that Cabe, this guy, this random freaking guy that I've been following on Twitter and being just like mesmerized and captivated by what this guy has to say on Twitter about clones and aliens and Pleiadians and Galactic Federation and satanic cabal stuff. Dude, this is real, y'all. This is real. Trump reposted this. Cabe has to say, Trump just reposted this on his Truth Social. There is no Joe Biden. Biden was executed and replaced with clones. It's confirmed, dude. It's freaking confirmed. So I guess, can we just get a round of applause for Cabe? Shout out to Cabe, dude. Shout out to Cabe, my guy. My guy. I love you, brother. My guy, Cabe. Dude, how crazy is this, man? You never know when something is real until it's actually real. And then when it turns into be real, you almost don't believe that it was real. And that was me last night looking at this stuff. I was like, there's no way Trump did this. This is like fake. This is like a fake account. It got hacked. This is AI. It got hacked. And nope. I first saw this from the Laura Loomer. I don't even know who this girl is. She's some sort of a journalist. But Laura Loomer posted it, and she's like laughing about it. Like, look what Trump posted. Biden's a clone. And immediately, people start like reacting to it, right? And people are just talking about how, oh, this is like, this is a troll. Trump is trolling, and Trump is just posting some stupid stuff about Biden. And what I have to say about that is there is no freaking way Trump was trolling, dude. This type of situation, this type of like calling Biden as a clone is not what Trump does. Trump has never uttered anything like that. Trump has said that Biden doesn't even know he's alive. And he's called him Sleepy Joe. Okay? All like those things, the things that we are used to Trump making fun of Biden about, those are normal things. Like those can be interpreted as like normal insults. Okay? But when Trump reposts something that's saying that Biden is a clone, that's a very specific claim. It's very specific. And there's no way that he's trolling, because when it comes to this type of information, especially what Cabe has posted, you have to just like, I'm assuming, and this is what I'm doing. I'm assuming that Trump knows that Biden was a clone, dude. And you just got to look at these photos right here. Like, look, does this look like a man? Like, so the 2016 Biden. Okay, yeah, that's a man. That's a human man. 2019 Biden. And allegedly, so Biden got cloned in 2019 before he announced his presidency or his campaign. So he went on campaign. He announced his campaign in April 25th, 2019. Biden was cloned before then. Okay. So this is 2019 Biden. And I think they look a lot freaking different, dude. His skin looks like tighter, you know? Like this doesn't look like natural aging on the right. This looks like, I mean, I'm not an expert, but it looks like a clone. It looks like a human clone. Because when you look at the skin and like the freckles, where are the freckles? You know, like that's my biggest question. Where are the freckles on Joe Biden, on current Joe? Like, where are the freckles? I don't know. I don't know. And I got another photo right here. I post like a side by side of this. You know, so on the left is 2013, and on the right is 2021. Do you see a difference in these two photos? I personally do. I personally see a difference in these photos. Now, if you don't, that's okay, you know, because I posted this under Cenk, Cenk, that Cenk guy from the Young Turks, and he was like, "It's it's just different lighting, solved it." Duh. Like freaking idiot Cenk, dude. Pretty sure you voted for Biden, first of all. So if Biden's a clone, Cenk voted for a freaking clone, and so did all the other people in the country, all the other 80 million people. Um, I see a big difference in these Bidens. I don't see these freckles. Where are the freckles on Biden's forehead? The smile looks sort of similar. You know, like I think that's like the big thing about the cloning process. Like they really focus on the cheeks, they focus on the nose. But look at the eyes. You gotta look at the eyes. The eyes look a bit off, don't they? So the left is human, the right is clone. Okay. And I wanted to pull the two best images of Biden. So it wasn't some like shitty like screenshot. These are his the 2013 image is his vice presidential portrait, and the right side is his presidential portrait. So these are like allegedly like the best photos that there could be of the guy. And the photo on the right, this doesn't seem like natural aging. He looks shiny. He looks shiny, like a toy, like a plastic toy. I don't understand. And then along with that, what's up with the neck fat? Where's his neck fat? Okay, like they have like some loose skin underneath here, but as you get older, I don't understand how you could be in your 60s and you look like you're in your 60s, but then you're in your 70s and somehow you look like you don't have as much fat on your body, or you don't have like he looks less, it's almost like he looks less inflamed but more puffy. Like the human picture, you could say that he's like naturally inflamed with seed oils, maybe, you know, like pretty healthy guy, fairly healthy older man. But the right side, he looks like a plastic puffy toy. He looks like a rubber ball that you can bounce on the ground. And so these are things that need to be analyzed, okay? So just because Trump posted this, like clearly I think Trump is posting correctly. I think he's like it's like a soft disclosure, okay? And we're going to have to ask questions. People are going to have to figure out like just is this real, you know? If Trump is going to repost this, is he posting about something that's accurate? Which is super important to talk about. Now, clearly, last year I did a whole episode of the podcast on human cloning, and this all just goes back to what Bill Clinton. So, this is what I think the linchpin is when it comes to this conspiracy, okay? Because this is a conspiracy. Cabe has information about how cloning begun back in the 1950s with Eisenhower, and the Zeta Gray aliens brought this technology, and they made a deal with the Eisenhower administration. They gave them cloning tech. We allow them to do experiments. That's why there's so many abduction stories between the 1950s and 2012. Okay, so that's what Cabe has to say. But when it comes to I guess I say this like with like respect, with real information, with like verifiable video evidence and documented stuff that everyone can look at. The linchpin within the cloning narrative is going back to 1997 during a press announcement with Bill Clinton. And I'm going to play this clip again of Bill Clinton banning human cloning. Okay, check this out.
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed. Therefore, today I am issuing a directive that bans the use of any federal funds for any cloning of human beings. Effective immediately, no federal agency may support, fund, or undertake such activity. Of course, a great deal of research and activity in this area is supported by private funds. That is why I am urging the entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area, to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our bioethics advisory...
That's a key term. Voluntary moratorium. That's the linchpin. So Bill Clinton bans the federal dollars to fund and research cloning. But then he calls for something to be voluntarily done. Like, what is this? That doesn't make any sense.
The entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area, to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances.
So has that happened? Has that happened? Have we discussed this since 1997? He called for a voluntary moratorium so that we could have a discussion as a nation. Did that ever happen? Did that ever happen? I don't remember talking about clones in school. Does anyone else remember talking about clones? Raise your hand if you spoke about the ethical implications of human cloning during biology class. Anyone? Bueller? Like, no, we didn't talk about this. So this is the linchpin. If you want to prove that cloning does not exist, then you are going to have to prove that the private scientific and academic community obeyed Bill Clinton's voluntary moratorium and did not do any future research on human cloning. That is the linchpin. That is what you are going to have to prove to me that actually happened. Because my position is that did not happen. This was a show. This was a freaking movie, dude. This was just words for the media, just so they can print out and bury the story. You know, because this same year, 1997, is when they cloned Dolly the sheep. Dolly the sheep was a very big story. You know, people remember this story. People like a lot of people, I mean, not my age, because I was born in 97, but people older than me can point to like, oh yeah, I remember Dolly the sheep. Like, this is a very like famous story. And if you're able to clone an animal, it's only logical to think that you can then clone a human being, because it's all just cells, right? Of course you can clone a cell. And so this is what I have to say to the naysayers and to the people who doubt. You know, this is what you're going to have to prove. Did science and academia volunteer to stop doing research on human cloning? You're going to have to prove that to me, because I don't think they did. Okay? And what Cabe has to share is that cloning within politics begun with the Clinton administration. This moment with Bill Clinton is actually a signifier that human cloning was going on within the federal government. They just made a smokescreen to make it seem like our tax dollars weren't funding it. I mean, sure, sort of correct, but now they're just having foundations like, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation might be funding human cloning. The Clinton Foundation might have been funneling money for human cloning. And what Cabe has to say recently, after all this news came out, is where is it? He said BlackRock is like a big funder. They are complicit, dude. He says, I can say with complete certainty He says, I can say with certainty that the company BlackRock is complicit with the human cloning deception. There are employees on the inside who know what's happening and have been thinking about coming forward as whistleblowers. Now is the time. You will be honored. If that is correct, if there is anyone watching this who is within BlackRock, if you are in any sort of financial institution that has connection to these laboratories, that is funding this type of research and products, please come forward. Please come forward. This is important. This is important for the truth of humanity. Humans must know truth. We must know truth. I only seek truth in this life. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be misled. And this is why I do my best to think critically when it comes to what Cabe has been talking about. And I read what Cabe says to people who ask questions and respond to him very carefully. Is what Cabe is saying making sense? Okay. I believe, from my point of view, I'm 100% in right now, dude. For a while, I was like 80, 90% in. Like I was pretty into it and it like resonated with me. And I've brought it up a ton before. But there's always this like little bit of like, I don't know. I don't know. And, the last few months I've been thinking about clones, right? And the clone conspiracy is the biggest thing. Like, I know Cabe talks about the shift and like the coming of New Earth and things like this, but like that's just like prophecy and that's like future. Okay. Cloning is now. And it's now that people need to think about. You need to be in the present. Okay. You can't be stuck in the past and you can't be dreaming about the future all the time. You need to do something now. You need to think about now. You need to do now. And this is what the topic of cloning comes to in my mind. It's the biggest conspiracy on planet Earth. Nothing bigger. Nothing bigger. I know they shut down the globe for COVID. I know they're convincing kids to cut off their genitals and to identify as something else. I know that they are buying up the farmland and killing the environment. I know they're genetically modifying plants and insects and mosquitoes. I know they're trying to demonize meat. I know they're trying to make you some like workaholic slob to make you give yourself to the machines. But this cloning story is the peak of everything. If they can make a human in a lab and program it to support the narratives that they want you to believe, who is a clone in the media? Who promotes what type of products and narratives? Clearly, I think it's the people who hate Trump the most in the media who might be clones. This is why this is why the existence of Donald Trump running for president and Trump's ideas for his policies, they're not respected as ideas. They're just automatically looked at as hateful things. That's a programming. Okay. That's a big program. And I think it runs to a lot of different people. So yeah, dude, this is what I think. This is what I think is real. Do you agree with me on this? Like, you got to do your own research, of course. There's not a lot of info on what's going on with cloning. It's really just Cabe and then some like random, like there's like random like musicians who might talk about it online, but there's enough evidence that points to cloning being real. And so I also want to shout out to Adam Curry. I sent Adam Curry this like insane email about human cloning, and I want him to look into it. And I asked him to have an open mind about this because Adam Curry portrays himself as the conspiracy therapist. Okay, and so if this is a conspiracy, I need the main guy who can maybe talk me out of it. But I believe this Bill Clinton thing is the linchpin in it existing. If there's another angle that human cloning can be disproved, maybe I'll be able to receive that. Maybe I'll listen to it. But right now, folks, cloning is real. Human cloning is real. President Joe Biden, from the entire duration of his campaign announcement through the last day of his administration, was a human clone, controlled by dark forces and programmed to make us think differently, that went against Donald Trump, that went against the truth, that went against humanity. This is my position. So this is crazy, dude. This is crazy. Now, what all this leads to, if cloning is real, what else is Cabe right about? You know, that's something that you got to think about as well. If human cloning is real, what else that Cabe talks about is real? The shift, the cabal, you know, the coming new earth, Pleiadians, aliens, UFOs, everything that he talks about. You know, he claims to be a main contactee. Him and his mother are the main contactees for the Galactic Federation, and they, like, their mission on Earth as humans is to give this information to humans and to get people ready for the shift. You know, and this is a positive thing. This is a positive situation. Even though we're being lied to, even though there are groups of people that are actively trying to deceive Earth, this is all leading up to something greater. The best is yet to come. And so, you know, I'm a full believer now. That's just what I'm saying. You know, I've seen UFOs in the sky personally. I've had some pretty intense spiritual experiences that align with what Cabe has talked about. You know, it's crazy to even say, dude. It's crazy to even say, but you know, I talked about this a few weeks ago with Seth. We were talking about starseeds, you know, and like souls from other planets visiting Earth to learn experiences as humans. And if you are a starseed right now, there's over 200 million on Earth right now. If you are a starseed on Earth right now, you chose to come to Earth and to experience duality and what it's like to be a human one more time on Earth, but this time it's for the shift. The emotional and spiritual lessons we learn through our relationships, all of these are leading up to the coming new Earth. And it's our job, or it's our opportunity, to somehow get people ready, to help people open up their hearts and minds for a better reality, a new world. You know, I don't have a clear statement on that yet. Like, for myself, I know that I'm good at talking. I know that I have a podcast. I know that I tell stories. I like to make movies. You know, I made 2 short films. There's like things about my life that give me an opportunity to talk about these types of topics and interesting ideas. But I also am having a hard time putting like my dreams of making a movie and this information and the shift. Like, how do I align these things? You know, because the type of movie I want to make, it's not about aliens. You know, I want to make a movie about my parents falling in love in Las Vegas in the 1990s. I don't know, like, maybe that can help, you know, maybe that can help open up people's hearts and minds. Um, but I'm thinking about like purpose, you know, I'm thinking about a life purpose. And if my soul is from a different place, and my soul had the plan to come to Earth and live life as a human and to experience my father's death and to learn these lessons through grieving and within my personal relationships, then what is that purpose? Like, is it just learning those lessons is the purpose? Or is there an actual mission that I need to commit to, you know? I guess I'm searching for like a mission. And I feel like my mission is in some areas, you know, I've always felt compelled to do podcasting and maybe I should continue with that. But as I live now, I'm just like, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm like, is there a mission or am I just vibing? You know, is there a mission or am I just vibing? So that's what I'm thinking about right now. But when it's all said and done, you know, I think Cabe is correct. And I think we are heading towards a new earth. I think we're heading towards more disclosure. And I think Trump seriously just brought forward some hardcore soft disclosure about human clones, which is crazy. It's crazy, dude. So tell me what you think about that, dude. I predict people will come around to this idea. Once people are talking about it, once people discuss it a bit more, I think it's something to be, you know, discussed a bit more because we either need to prove it or disprove it. But I think Trump just proved it. You know, that's my position. That's what I think. What do you think? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think this is bullshit? What do you think about human clones, dude? I need to know what you think. This is a really important thing. It's important to know what you think because, you know, that's like the value exchange between human beings. What you think, what you believe, the vibes you give off, you know, that's valuable and that's value for value. So, you know, I just want to go into the value for value section now for America Plus. America Plus is a value for value show. Pretty much, guys, like I'm just trying to do my best to just bring forward the best information, the most interesting information and entertaining stuff that I can to my feed and my Twitter. And I just want to engage with you, you know? So if you're getting any value from this conversation, please show me that value in return, whether that's through a retweet, a comment, a follow, a subscribe. Please do your thing and just show me that value in return. This is your opportunity to show me the value that you are receiving from this show. And if you want to support me financially, you can support me with Fountain. Oops, hang on.
Go to value4value.info for more info, then download the Fountain.fm app. It's the best way to support the show.
Fountain is a podcasting app that you can send small bits of Bitcoin to your favorite podcasters. And so if you want to be a part of the America Plus crew, I encourage you to download Fountain.fm and send in some little bits of Bitcoin called sats. And you can also send a little message. And I got a message from last week from a regular listener named Pies. Pies sends in his normal 100 Satoshis, and he sends in a little like salute emoji and beers cheering emoji. So thank you so much, Pies, for that.
Boosting is loving.
And now, as the French say, it is time for le boost.
And that's value for value, y'all. I only got one boostagram in, which is cool. But this is the America Plus crew. My numbers are growing on Twitter. My numbers are going up on the audio. And so if you want to be a part of this, you know, if you want to send in a boostagram, please do. Please download Fountain and just be a part of this. And you can just be part of that world. Or just follow me on Twitter. Follow me wherever you're at. Yeah, man. That's pretty much it. I want to know what you have to think and say. That's really what value for value is. And we need to continue to push the conversation forward. That's what we got to do, dude. That's the most important thing. The cool thing about value for value as well is that I also play value for value music. What that means is there are artists that are putting out their music via RSS feeds, and I can give them a split of money. So I'm going to play the song that I played the song before. It's so good. I want to play it again. It's from this guy named R.O. Shapiro. And the song Saint Joan is just, so good. It's such a feel good song. You know, we're in crazy times, but I want to just play a feel good song. And pretty much if you feel compelled to give any bits of Bitcoin, R.O. Shapiro is going to get 90% of your Satoshi donation sent in through a modern podcasting app or a Fountain. And so I want to encourage you to just support the artist, support the podcaster. And yeah, man, just thank you for hanging out with me today. I think clones are real. This is Saint Joan by R.O. Shapiro. Don't forget to send in a boostagram.
Had no plan of attack, just the wind at my back and a heart full of strings. There she stood in the aisle, pretty girl, pretty smile, what a dangerous thing. St. Joan of the seatbelt, St. Joan of the sky, palming plasticine, peanuts, pouring Pepsi and rye. She points toward the exits like some prayer from on high. And from her mouth, God came tumbling, and she sang a song of peace and rejoicing. She sang, and my heart couldn't help let her voice in. We touched down in LA, that's the place where I stay, where I keep all my clothes. And in a cab on the 10, I was thinking about when I should quit, I suppose. Then my driver, Mohammed, asked, what do you do? Our eyes met in the mirror as I searched for the truth. I said, I'm a singer. He said, I got news for you. I am too, I am too. And he sang his song of peace and rejoicing. He sang, and my heart couldn't help let his voice in. That night on the stage, thinking I turned the page, I could not find my light. Felt some heat on my face, but it came from a place filled with anger and fright. Then my heart heard a murmur that turned to a roar as the crowd started pounding their feet on the floor. I remembered at last what I'm doing this for. It's not for me, not just for me. And I sang my song of peace and rejoicing.
That's America Plus, bitch. Stay free. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bongo. Folks, that's America Plus, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Every Sunday around like 5 o'clock, I'm here. So tune in next week. Thank you so much for joining.